Okay, letter A was 70 cents, B was 12.90, C was 1/8, and D was 1/7. Okay, Eric, did you get one?
Okay.
I couldn't hear you. Did you say yes?
No.
Okay, Juliana?
Yes.
Okay, and Andre?
Yes.
And then Katie? You got one? And then Brianna. All right. All right.
Mr. Jones,
Yeah.
I think I put my lesson in the folder by accident. With
You
my
know, that every single time. Eric, how many times have I said this now?
I don't know.
This is like the 4th week in a row. You keep saying you put it in there.
No,
I'm not saying you're not, but I keep telling you, don't put math in there.
I had a folder of math, and I probably took it in with it and put it in and didn't notice it.
It's okay. I'll just count it as a 0.
Okay.
You're fine with that? I don't have to grade it now?
I mean, if you don't want to, I'll just get a 0.
Well, of course I'm going to grade it, Eric, but man, you're just making me use extra time. All right, here we go. Number 1 on your lesson, $13.48. 2 is B. 3 is 70%. 4 is 19,860 miles. 19,860. Number 5 is 50,600. 50,600. Number 6 is 1.5 meters. 7 is 10. 8 is greater than. 9A is 2.4. B is 240%. 10A is 17 over 20, and B is 85%. 11 is 18. 12 is 49. 13 is 1/8. 14 is 32.52, and 15 is 0.004. Any questions on that side? No? All right.
What was 14?
14 was 32.52.
Oh,
Good?
yeah.
All right, so backside, number 16 is 3.14. 17 is 10. 18 is 68 square centimeters. 19, 36 centimeters. 20 is 27 cubic centimeters. 21 is 31. 22 is 120 ounces. 23 is 4,500,000. That's 4,500,000. 24 is 59 million. That's 59 with 6 zeros following it. 25 is C. 26 is 1 pound, 14 ounces. 27, there are 3 possible answers. You either 1,3, 11,3, or -1, -3. Those are your 3 possibilities. 28 is 1/6. 29 is 5 gallons, 1 quart. And 30, it asks you to, how can he calculate the average number of miles he traveled? Basically divide 323.4 by 14.2 gallons. Didn't have to calculate it, you just need to explain how.
Can you read
All
the
right.
problem? Can you read the problem of 27? Like, can you read like the question that it said?
On number 27, oh, there are 2 parts. I missed the second part on B for 27.
Oh,
The second part is 15 square units. Sorry about that. Did you want the first part again, Andre?
no.
Okay.
And for number 2, what were the choices?
A, B, and C.
Yeah.
A was 6.24 pounds, B was 6.4 pounds, and C was 6.345 pounds.
Is B the answer?
It is, yes.
Oh, I put 6.4 pounds.
Yeah, that's correct. You're supposed to put the letter too, but
Okay.
That's the right answer though.
Mr. Jones, what was 22 and 26?
22 was 120 ounces. 26 was 1 pound, 14 ounces.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or no? All right, let me get my. Okay. Eric, what'd you get?
I'll have it with me.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Juliana,
I got a
I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
25.
25. Andre,
29. Like
thank. You said 21.
29.
29. Thank you. Katie. Pass. Go ahead. Tear it up. Okay, Brianna.
I got a 24, and I used a half lesson on this.
Half lesson pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the bath is in the room.
Oh, it's in the room.
Yeah.
Where?
In my room.
Oh, in your room.
Yeah.
Did you tear it up already?
Yeah.
Okay. How many do you have left? 27, 28, 30?
No. I have one full lesson and one test pass.
Yeah. Hey, Juliana, I just realized I forgot. I have one of your brothers. I forgot to put in the thing. Half lesson pass for math if he wants to use it. I was going to put it in and I totally forgot. All right, here we go. Let's look at the next lesson, 120. Classifying triangles. All right, pretty easy lesson. I have my new handy dandy pen that I bought that I'll be able to use. All right, so let's see if this works, if I can draw well with it. All right, you have three types of triangles. You have what's called an equilateral triangle. And what that means is apparently there's an earthquake here. It's making it wavy lines, straight lines. So each of the lines are the same length in geometry, by the way. Whenever you have sides that are the same length, they will mark it. Like if there were, these two were the same, that would mark it like that, and that would be marked that way. That would be like the second line or the second distance. Okay, so that's kind of how they do that in the geometry when you're talking about geometry. So that's an equilateral triangle, and if you imagine that they're all the same length, that means also all these angles, and they use the same thing for angles, by the way. If they're all the same, they would put a little line through it like that. They don't do it in this book, but you'll see in later books they do something similar to that. And then you have what's called an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle, basically the two of the sides are the same, and then the third one is a different distance. It can be fat like that. I say fat wide, or it can be not so wide. It can be very tall like this, but it's still called an isosceles if two of the sides are the same length. Doesn't matter which direction the two sides are. That was more an isosceles, but let's imagine that that's still an isosceles even though the lines are not on the two top ones. It's just that usually they show them on the two top ones. It's easier to see that way. Then you have the third type, which is called a scalene, which is basically the type where none of the sides are the same length and all the angles are going to be different as well. Also in an isosceles triangle, these two angles would be the same. Those two that are connected to the opposite line from the two lines that are the same length. So that's basically what you're talking about as far as the three different types of triangles. Now, on the next page, on page number, wow, they don't have a practice for you here. Yeah. On page number, oh, they do have a practice. They don't have an example. On page number 584, where you have the three other types that you learned before, you have learned different classifications of lines. And that is that you have an acute triangle, which means that an acute triangle all three angles are acute. In other words, they're all less than 90 degrees. Does anybody remember how I tried to get you to remember which one was acute?
Small is cute.
Small is cute. That's right. If you have a small puppy or something like that, they're always cute until they start chewing your furniture. Then you have what's called a right triangle. Now, a right triangle is always going to have a right angle in it. Now, it doesn't have to be that one or in that direction. It can be anywhere. But as long as there's a right angle in it, that makes it a right triangle. Then, of course, the obtuse, one of the angles is going to be larger than 90 degrees, okay? And so this one would go, 90 would be like, if I can get it to draw, that would be 90 degrees. And so you can see that this line is actually farther than 90 degrees out. And so that would be the obtuse triangle, okay? So 6 triangles to remember. So let's try something. You probably don't need to write anything, but I'm going to draw one, and then you tell me which kind you think it is. Okay, there are 2 types that one can be. What are they?
An acute angle and
Obtuse and acute.
Can't be obtuse and acute. It's impossible. There's no angle there greater than 90 degrees. So acute is correct. That's one of them. What's the other one?
Oh, acute and equilateral.
Eh.
Oh no. Isosceles.
Yes, isosceles. Yes, isosceles it's called.
Isosceles.
That's right, an isosceles. Isosceles is correct. Did I stop? Oh, it is recording. Okay. All right. And so, yes, that is correct. That is what that is. So that's basically all you have. On your practice, it should be pretty easy for you. What is the total number of degrees on the inside of a triangle? What does it add up to? What's the total?
360.
No, that wouldn't be. That would be for a quadrilateral or a circle, but not for a triangle. Triangle only has 3 sides.
What kind of a triangle?
Any triangle, it doesn't matter.
Oh. 180. 180.
Okay, so you know that one's 90, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think this one plus this one would add up to? Anybody can answer, by the way. We have gone over this before.
125.
So let's imagine we're taking this angle and we're putting it here.
Mm-hmm.
Then we take that angle and put it there. What's the total angles altogether from here to there?
180.
180, yes. So 180 degrees for a triangle, okay? So all 3 angles added together will equal 180. And then if you know 2 of them, you should be able to figure out the 3rd one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's try that. Get your whiteboards ready.
How much degrees does that equal?
I'll fix it. I'll tell you in a second. Hold on. Woo! Never mind. Wow, that didn't work exactly the way I was hoping it would, but that's okay. All right, back to what I was doing before. Here we go. Okay, what's that angle right there at the top?
Obtuse.
The measurement, Andre.
Oh.
That's why I gave you the degrees on the other ones.
well,
Correct. Brianna, good job. So total has to be 180, so you just subtract the 2 that are there from 180. That is correct, Andre. No, it's not 30. Think about it, Juliana. 180, not 80. Well, I don't know what did you do? What did you subtract?
180 minus 30.
Well, there's 20 and 20. So 20 and 20 doesn't equal 30. Katie, is that a whiteboard on your wall? Oh, cool. Correct. Not Eric, you're incorrect. Check your math. Check your math on that. So Juliana, tell me again what it is you're supposed to do. So what's the total amount that triangle has in it? Eric, what's the total amount that has?
Oh.
This one is not 90. I'm just showing you that angle. That's the one I want you to name for me. What does A equal? Yeah, I got my new pen. I can write in a much neater fashion, although it doesn't do straight lines well. I think that's just because of the covering I have on it. So Eric. So Eric, did you, so what's the total of degrees, Eric? I need to turn your microphone on real quick.
130.
No, what's the total for a triangle? All triangles have how many, remember?
360.
What was it, Juliana?
180.
I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
180.
180, yeah. So take 180 and subtract the two angles that are there. Add them together and subtract it from the 180 altogether.
Isn't that 50?
No. How would that be 50?
Because there's a 30 and a 20 plus.
No,
equals-
it's not 30. They're both 20s.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. I had accidentally, you got stuck. That's correct, Juliana. So you had the right idea. You just misread it. That's fine, Eric, then. You got the idea. All right. Then don't forget, tomorrow is a test. So that lesson is not due until Wednesday. However, I would suggest to you, okay, please. Oh, no. When is the test? Yeah, it's tomorrow. I would suggest to you, please, 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 don't wait until tomorrow to do it because you know you're not going to. Just do it today like you would normally do it, and you don't have to worry about not having it done. Okay, Eric? And others? Okay? Yes. What's that?
Well, can I get a charger for the computer? It's about to die.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. And then the rest of you get your language out right now. Okay, on 205, I don't know, did we, was this gonna count for points? You guys remember?
No.
No.
It's not going to? Okay. I didn't think it was. I know 206 is, but I couldn't remember about 205. Let's look at right C first, since that was one you were supposed to do.
Mhm.
So right C on page number 205. All right, so what do you guys have for, let's see. All right, so let's look at adjective phrases with. Let's do the with first, okay? Juliana, what do you have?
Oh wait, I have a question first.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
From the preposition words, is it supposed to start with that word?
Yes, it's prepositional phrase always starts with a preposition, then ends with the
Oh,
object of preposition.
that means I did it wrong.
Ma'am, the whole thing we've been doing has been prepositional phrases. That's what we've been doing the whole time in the book. That's what exercise B was. I don't even think they have a with there, but they do have, they don't have an in either. They have of, on, behind, with, beside. Oh, they do have a with. So anyway, so what did you do then?
I have sentences, but the word is in the sentence. It's not the person.
It's supposed to be in a sentence. Well, just try it. Let me see. It might be right. You never know.
My sister went with my friend.
That would be correct. It's not. Yeah. Actually what you did was you wrote it. You wrote an adverb phrase. An adverb. You modified went with my friend. Went how with my friend. So, how about you, Katie? What did you have for your with?
With.
Ow.
Which number?
We're on right C,
Oh.
the 3 sentences. I just went there first. Hi, Anastasia.
That's my mom.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Hi.
Okay. What I had was, can I go with you to the store?
With you, go. You did the same thing. You did it an adverb phrase. You're modifying, can I go with you? Go how, go with you. And so that would be an adverb phrase there. How about you? Oh, you're connecting the audio for some reason. Brianna, go ahead to yours.
My mom went to the store with my siblings.
You did the same thing. You went to the store. To the store is a modifier for went then, which is an adverb phrase. Now watch, when we get to adverb phrases, you guys are gonna switch it and do the ones for adjectives, I'll bet. Andre, how about you?
Each one with the lines were given a card.
Very good. Each one, each is your subject, with the what you said?
With the lines.
With the lines, okay? So that would be what it is. Hey, Eric, I don't know, your thing's not connecting to audio for some reason. Is there a button to push? I don't think you can hear me.
You probably can't.
Can you, what's that?
You probably can't.
Yeah, oh, there it is. Okay, you're on now. Okay, Eric, can you do me your sentence for with? We're on right C. Oh, he's connected to audio again. All right, we'll just move on to the next one. Did anybody have it besides Andre for behind or it, or in, I mean, behind or in properly? No? You don't know? Can you hear me, Eric? Shake your head yes or no. Apparently he can't. Hopefully he's using his mom's phone. He can get a message, but maybe not. Might be using his sister's phone. I'm gonna send him a message. There you go. Can you hear me now? You sure? Then why are you shaking your head yes or no?
Oh, now he's connected to audio again.
Yeah, I know it says it again. No, I asked him if he could hear me and he shook his head no.
How?
And I said, are you sure? And he said yes. Oh, he apparently did get disconnected. All right, anyway. How about behind? What do you have, Juliana, for behind? Just go ahead and give it anyway.
My brother was behind the curtain.
Yeah, again, you're modifying was with behind the curtain. Okay, how about you, Katie?
The cat was behind the couch.
Yeah, you did the same thing, was behind. Okay, Brianna?
The movie was made behind the scenes.
Was made, yeah, it's still the same thing. So here comes Eric back again, hopefully. Andre, did you get it right?
I don't know, cause I put one in front before behind, so I don't think that's. I put each one behind the car hid under the box.
That works, that's fine. Each is behind the car. That's what you're modifying each, which is your subject, and that's a pronoun. So that does work for that. That's an adjective phrase modifying that. Eric, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, apparently you had a connection problem there. Hey, do you have a sentence for with and write C for with and behind?
No, I don't.
You didn't do it or what?
No, I didn't do it.
Did you do the other part? Think B?
No, I didn't even do this page for some reason.
That was the only page it was assigned to. Oh no, I guess we had the other page. Did you do 206
Yeah.
with the diagrams? I forgot which numbers did I tell you guys to do diagrams on? Do you remember?
5, 8, and 12.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I go get them?
Yeah, go ahead. All right, so let's go to the top there and think B. I think we did the first 3 together, or is it first 5?
First.
First 5. I think each
Yeah.
of you did one. All right, so number 6. You should have behind us pointing to car. Number 7, of the members pointing to many. Number 8, with the freckles pointing to 1. Number 9, beside me pointing to girl. Number 10, of the batters pointing to 1. Number 11, from our pecan trees pointing to leaves. Number 12, about space travel pointing to stories. Number 13, of August pointing to month. Number 14, from our Sunday school lesson pointing to applications. And number 15, of lemonade pointing to glass. Okay, any questions on any of those?
I got all of them right.
They weren't too difficult because they only have one prepositional phrase in each one. So it shouldn't have been too difficult to find them. But, you know, when you have prepositions like you guys, the sentences you wrote, because prepositional phrases can modify as adverbs as well, you kind of have to be careful. It's hard to determine. It's easy when they give you an exercise where it's all the same. So we'll see how we do as we keep going forward here. All right, so this is for points. I think we did 3 together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see if there were any others. I don't think we did any others together, did we?
No.
It's 3. Okay, so this is for each one. It's going to be half of a point for each thing that you're supposed to do. So, for instance, you're supposed to underline the subject. The number 1, president, is the subject. Of our class is the should be in parentheses. There should be an arrow pointing to president. So right there, all 3 of those things would be worth 1.5 points. On number so the verb is should be underlined twice. PA over honest, and PA over friendly. So a total of 3 points there altogether. So minus half for each one missed. Number 2, tulips, daffodils are your subjects. R is the verb, PA over pretty. Number 4, go ahead, what?
You said tulips and daffodils are the subject. And then
Yeah, both
R
are the subject. And then R is the verb, pretty, predicate adjective.
Oh, okay.
We did number 3 together. So number 4, study is the subject. Of ants is in parentheses pointing back to study. Can be should be underlined. PA over informative and PA over interesting. All right. And then number 5, mince is your subject. In that dish should be in parentheses, arrow pointing back to mince. Were is your subject, and then stale, PA. Then on the right side, peanuts is the subject, were is the verb, and PA over delicious. All right. And then number 6, pilot is the subject. Of this plane is in parentheses, pointing back to picture. What's the matter, Julian? Did somebody walk in naked or what?
No. My
You hit your
cousin
face,
came with the balloon
You hit your
and-
eyes really quickly. That's why I was wondering. What happened?
My cousin came in, had a balloon, and let it go. And I told him not to do it.
Oh, it was one of those balloon that was open and went.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, anyway, so pilot subject of this plane in parentheses pointing back to pilot. Is your subject. Reliable, skillful are your PAs, predicate adjectives. Number 7, picture is your subject. Of you and Emma should be in parentheses, arrow pointing back to picture. Is your verb, and PA over funny. Number 8, girl is your subject. In the blue dress in parentheses, arrow pointing back to girl. Is the verb, predicate nominative over cousin and over friend. Number 9, story is your subject. About his grandfather is in parentheses, pointing back to story. Is your verb, and PA over delightful. Number 10, Mrs. Searway is the subject. Read is the verb. IO over us, DO over book. About pandas in parentheses pointing back to book. Number 11, you is the subject. R is the verb. 1 is a PN. Of the cheerleaders should be in parentheses pointing back to 1. And then number 12 is Anna subject, vacuumed. One of the verbs, the other verb is dusted. DO over living room, DO over knickknacks. On the piano should be in parentheses and then an arrow pointing back to knickknacks. Okay, any questions about any of those? Just add them up.
Mr. Jones?
Hold on. Okay, what? Yes, sir.
Can you repeat number 1 through 5?
Which ones?
1 through 5.
Okay. Were you not back yet? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start that early.
No, that's fine.
All right, number 1 is president. Of our class is in parentheses, pointing back to president, an arrow pointing back to president. Is your verb. Honest, friendly are your PAs there. So it's half a point for each blank or each thing that's missing. Number 2, tulips, daffodils are your subjects. R is the verb, PA over pretty. Now, number 3 we did together, so we're not going to count that one. Number 4, study is your subject. Of ants is in parentheses, arrow pointing back to study. Can be is a verb. PA over informative, PA over interesting. And then number 5, mince is your subject. In that dish is in parentheses pointing back to mince. Were is your verb. Stale is a PA. On the right side, peanuts is your subject. Were is the verb, and PA over delicious.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? I'll go over the diagrams in a moment, but they're not for points, so. All right, so let's see. All right, so Eric, what did you get on yours? Minus what?
-7.
Thank you. Juliana?
-3.
Okay, Andre?
-3.
Katie?
-1.
And Brianna?
-11.
Do you need help with anything, Brianna?
No,
And
I just messed up the DO. I put DO instead of PA.
Yeah. That one rule about DOs only coming after action verbs, it's really helpful to remember that, but if you don't remember that, then it's hard sometimes to think about it. All right, so let's look at the three things. Where's my little pen here? All right. Somebody cook. Who's cooking something? All right, so here we go. So let's see, number 5. So you have on the left side, mince is your subject, were. So we'll start with that. Oops, that was a horrible thing. Let me try that again. Close enough for government work. Okay. So this is going to be a predicate adjective, so it's going to be pointing back to the left. Mince, were is your verb. So mince is your subject. And then going back is the word stale. Okay, so you should have that part. You have on the two, you have the word the, which is capitalized because it's the beginning of the sentence. Ignore my face. I'm just going to turn this flat so I can write on it more easily. Okay, so the, and then of, this is a prepositional phrase here, of, and then ants here. Okay, the study of ants can be, I'm the wrong one. Mince. I've looked at the wrong one, sorry. Of ants is not correct. I was looking at the wrong thing. All right, so it's in, come on. All right, so it's in that dish, in dish, and then that is modifying dish. All right, this is a compound sentence, so remember that you always connect with the verb to the verb on the next sentence. My dashed lines aren't all that great, but they'll work for what we're doing. All right, and then so we're gonna put the conjunction here, but, and then peanuts is your subject on the second sentence. And then were, it does have, peanuts does have a modifier, says the peanuts, were delicious. Again, a predicate adjective. So that's how your one should look. All right. Any questions? Anybody have anything different or something they didn't understand about that? On that one, everybody's good on that? Okay. All right. Well, let's go do the next one. I'll open up another whiteboard here. Oh, don't have to. They erased automatically. Okay. All right. So 8 is the next one. This one, the subject is girl. We'll split it at the end because you've got 2 predicate nominatives on this one. You have a girl is a subject. Is the verb. Pointing back now, your 2 predicate nominatives are cousin. That's renaming girl, and friend. Again, remember this is renaming or not describing the subject, but it's another way of talking about the subject or saying the subject. All right, and of course, on this you would have the word and here. Now, cousin and friend both have modifiers. My for cousin, best for friend. Never really had a cousin that was my best friend, didn't even live near them. The is the first one. The girl. In dress is your object preposition. In the blue dress. The second one should look something like this. Probably should be written a little neater than that, but all right. Any question on that one? How many of you got both of these right so far? Okay. 2 of you. What'd you miss, Andre? Microphone.
Number 5, I missed the word stale. I forgot to put stale on the ending.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. That was it. What about you, Juliana?
For number 5, I forgot to put the on the.
Yeah.
Part.
The beginning and before peanuts or before at the beginning?
Like the word peanuts and then under it has to be the, and I
Yeah.
forgot to put.
Gotcha. Okay. That's where I just didn't know which the you were talking about. How about you, Eric? Did you get them both correct or did you miss up on anything?
No, I did number 9 instead of number 8 for the second one.
Okay.
But I did do the other ones. And I got number 5 correct.
All right. We're going to do number 12 now. All right. So number 12. All right. So in this one, we've got 2 verbs. All right. So each of these verbs would be split like that. And so Anna is the subject. The 2 verbs are vacuumed, dusted. So vacuumed would go on top because that's the first one. All right, and then dusted would be on the bottom. And then both of these have direct objects. And so we'll go stretch this down further and you put a vertical line. And then this one would be, I didn't leave myself enough room, living room for this one. The bottom one would be knickknacks. Didn't leave myself enough room for that either. I'll just make it a hyphened word. All right, and so it's the living room, and so the comes off of there. The knickknacks. And then on knickknacks, I'm just going to stretch it over here, even though it's not supposed to be this way. It's going to be on piano, and then the. If I can get this to right. No, I guess I ran out of space. The word the goes down here at the bottom. Okay, on that line. I ran out of room. It won't let me write any lower. So, and let's see, did I forget something? Oh, the word and goes here because you have the compound verb there. All right. Oops. Almost got rid of you guys. Okay. All right. So does that make sense? All right. Any questions about that? All right. Now, let's look at the next. We already looked at, no, we didn't look at it yet. Comparing adjectives. Do you guys remember this from last year? Comparative adjectives, where you use the ER if you're comparing two things, and EST if you're comparing more than two things. All right, so you have the Bruno there, who is strong. That's called the positive. The comparative is when you're comparing two things. Magilla is stronger than Bruno, and there are only two people there you're comparing. Igor is the strongest weightlifter of all time, and so he's talking about all weightlifters that have ever existed, and so that's more than two, and so you have to use the EST. So you have strong, stronger, and strongest, and so that works very easily. It's called the positive, the comparative, and the superlative. Superlative, you can remember, is just super, so that means it's the best of all. But a couple things you need to know. So let's go ahead and start with Juliana. Read there underneath the pictures.
Adjectives have 3 degrees of comparison: the positive, the comparative, and the superlative.
Superlative, yeah.
Superlative. In the positive degree, nothing is being compared. No ending is added to an adjective to form the positive degree. That man is tall. That hurricane was frightful. Maya is dependable.
Okay. All right. So that's the positive degree. It's just basically making a statement using an adjective in its normal form. All right, Eric, go ahead and do the next part.
The comparative degree is used when two people or things are being compared. Most one-syllable adjectives form the comparative degree by adding ER to the positive. Most adjectives of two syllables form a comparative degree by using word more. All adjectives of 3 or more syllables form the comparative degree by using the word more.
Okay, so go ahead. We'll stop there for a second just to verify what they're saying. So if you have a single syllable and you're comparing it to something else, you add ER to it. So that person, and it says there, it says most one-syllable adjectives. So understand that there are some one-syllable adjectives that you don't use ER. For instance, you don't say it's funner than the other one. You have to say it's more fun. The word fun is one syllable, but it's an exception to the rule. So you say it's more fun. Going to school is more fun than staying at home. I'm sure you guys would agree to that, right? Oh, Brianna says yes. Let's go to school. I agree. If we can get our governor to free up things, that would be nice. Anyway, so it's not always the rule, but generally it is. And so, and then in the 2-syllable adjectives, so what they use as an example for a 2-syllable one is frightful. When you're comparing it to one other thing, you say more frightful. There are some that are that you don't change it that you don't put more in front of it. You don't say more funny. You would say funnier. Okay, funny is the word that's 2 syllables, but that's an exception to the rule. So you don't say more funny, it's funnier. Sometimes there are exceptions. That's the way the English language works. Sorry about that. And then the last one is when you have 3 or more syllables, like they have dependable, you always use the word more in front of it. So he's more dependable. You can't say dependabler. All right, there are no exceptions to 3 or more syllable adjectives to that rule. All right, so they give you the 3 examples there that I don't think we need to read together. All right, so let's go ahead and Brianna, if you would read the next part there, the superlative degree. You got to turn your microphone on. Sorry. Thank you.
The superlative degree is used when 3 or more things are being compared. Most one-syllable adjectives form the superlative degree by adding EST to the positive. Most adjectives of 2 syllables form the superlative degree by using the word most. All adjectives of 3 or more syllables form the superlative degree by using the word most.
Okay, so this is similar. You have your exceptions to the rules. There are rules that do apply generally for 98, 99% of all words, but there are some exceptions. And so you'll run into those at the time. So look at page number 208. So it says, so I'll give each one of you one of these. Katie, you take the first one, Andre the second, Eric the third, Brianna the fourth, and Juliana the fifth one. Cross out the one that is incorrect. Cross out the one that is incorrect. Okay. And then, so for you ready, Katie? Go ahead. Number one.
I crossed out faster.
That's correct. Yeah, it's because there are 9. There's more than 2, so you have to use the EST ending. Okay, Andre?
More pleasant is right.
Yeah, more pleasant, because pleasant's 2-syllable, and you don't add an ER to the 2-syllable most of the time. All right. Eric, go ahead and do the third one.
Which one is crossed out?
Which one?
Do I say which one is the cross?
Yeah, tell me which one's crossed out.
Most sweet.
That's correct. Yeah, because it's 1-syllable word, so you add EST to the end. And then Brianna, number 4.
Longer.
Yeah, you should cross out longer in that one because you're doing more than 2 things. Longer would be it's only 2 things. And then Juliana.
Smaller.
Same thing. Yeah, you have more than 2 things. It says, my little brother Michael wears the shoes in the family, or the smallest shoes in the family, because there's more than 2. Why? Because it's his brother. So you're assuming that there's a mom or a dad, or at least mom and dad, if not both of them.
My dad.
What's that?
Nothing.
Your dad has the smallest shoes in the family?
No.
Oh, do you?
No, mine's bigger than my dad's.
Oh, who is? So your dad's not. Well, I guess he's not the smallest because you got Janelle. So yeah, that's true. Who has the biggest mouth in the family?
Oh, probably me.
Just asking. Okay, so let's look at the next endings here. And it says learn the spelling rules for adjectives. So some of these you've got to change the spelling on them. So it says an adjective ends in Y. Change the Y to I before adding ER or EST. So shaggy becomes shaggier when you're comparing it to one thing, and then shaggiest comparing to the other. So you drop the Y, change it to I, and add ER, and then on the second one add EST, dropping the Y on that. So it should be SHAGGIER and SHAGGIEST. So for each one of those rules there, read that. It's pretty simple actually for these. I think nobody should have any problems doing this. Look closely at the bottom. Eric, why don't you read that for us?
Like 1-syllable adjectives, some 2-syllable adjectives form the comparative and superlative degrees.
Yeah, it's superlatives, how you pronounce that.
Superlative. By adding ER or EST, the positive to the positive. Your dictionary will give you the form of 2-syllable adjectives if they are not formed in the regular way with more and most.
Okay, so they give you the 2 examples there, and you notice that faithful is a 2-syllable word. Normally you would put the word more in front of it, and that is, you wouldn't say faithfuler, even though in some you can, but it's more faithful and most faithful. Fuzzy, though, is not more fuzzy or most fuzzy. It's fuzzier and fuzziest. And so the idea is, if you're not sure, just look in the dictionary, and it'll give you how the comparisons are used in a dictionary. It should be in a good dictionary anyway. It will. All right. So look at 209, and it has there the comparative and superlative degrees of a few adjectives are formed irregularly. Just like you have irregular verbs, you have irregular adjectives as well. Good is not gooder and goodest. Did anybody ever say that when they were a kid? Gooder and goodest?
Yes.
I think I used to too. Weller and wellest, badder and baddest. Although some people are the baddest in the world. Different baddest though. Ill, iller, illest. Many, manier, manyest. Much, mucher, muchest. You know, when somebody's just learning and they see a pattern, as a little kid, they'll try to do it that way because they know that that's supposed to be right. But then again, you always have your exceptions because of our wonderful English language, right? Far, you don't say farer and farthest. It's farther and farthest and far and further and furthest. What's the difference between the two fars? Anybody know?
Like, in what two forms are you talking about?
Okay, say that again. You kind of faded at the end there.
What two forms are you talking about?
Well, one is talking about actual distance. That's the first one. Far, farther, and farthest. That's talking about actual distance. I say, Mrs. Smith's room is far from mine. And then I would say Mrs. Jones's room is the farthest from mine. And so that's actual distance. And so then you would say further would be like if you're continuing, well, it actually has it in the, look closely there. Further and furthest are used in all of the senses where they do not refer to physical distance. So if you say, I want to talk about this further, you don't say, I want to talk about this farther, unless you actually want to stand way far away from everybody, which I guess we have to now because of COVID-19. What's that?
Social distancing.
Yeah, social distancing, that's right. And so it says, well is an adjective when it refers to one's health. All right, it often follows the linking verb, I am well, thank you. I am weller than you. No, I am more well than you. I am better than you. That's it. I am better than you. And as far as health, I'm talking about. All right. And then, so you're going to do think, see. Now, listen, tomorrow is the test for math. Okay. As I reminded you earlier. So we're going to, you don't need to write D on the bottom there. But what I do want you to do, and we won't have to have a class tomorrow, an interactive class. Although if you have questions, you can always contact me, Skype me, or if you want to text me and ask me to meet on Zoom, anything, that's fine. It's not a problem. But I want you to read 210 and do the bottom there, think A. And then 211, think B. Okay, so that's basically tomorrow's assignment is what it is. So you just have to read there. Now, we can read it together now if you want, and then I can explain it. Or if you guys would rather read it on your own, that's fine too. What would you guys rather do?
I'd read on my own.
What about you, Brianna?
Yeah, read on my own.
Same thing, Katie and Juliana and Eric. No, I want to read it with you, Mr. Jones. I miss you. Oh, okay, that's very nice of you. But we'll go ahead and let you read it on your own. So, all right. So that's it. Then we won't meet until Wednesday. Don't forget tomorrow when you do take your math test to turn it in. Oh, wait a minute. There was one other thing. Not everybody was here. In the booklet, a couple of people know this. The dates for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I forgot to change them from last week's dates. So make sure you change those dates. It doesn't really matter. You know it's Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. But you didn't accidentally get the wrong booklet. I just, I changed all the assignments in there, but forgot to change the actual dates on it. And then there was one other thing. Hold on, let me think. Oh, yes. Look at me, please. Please look at me. Okay. I know I'm not that great to look at. However, it would be such a big help. Honestly, I don't know why it's so difficult for you guys to get your test done on Thursday, your trial test, and just turn it in. I don't know why it's so hard. But look, I work on Saturdays at the post office. I'm generally here at the school on Sundays too for about 6 or 7 hours each Sunday. Sometimes I'll come on Saturdays after work. I couldn't do it this week because it was too late. But it would really be a help to me if you guys could get that done beforehand so that I can check it. A lot of times people will give it to me and I'm somewhere else. I'm at home or I'm at, and I know some of you are late people, like 11. What time did I text you last night, Brianna? Was it like almost 11 o'clock? Like that? I happened to be awake last night. That was fine. So, and if you don't hear me answer, you know I'm just not awake probably or alive or whatever it might be. I had a dream last night that I was arrested for a misunderstanding. Somebody thought I was responsible for some kind of crime. It wasn't me, but I understood they had to arrest me because I looked like the guy, I sounded like the guy. I have no idea exactly what the reason was, but in any case, please, I know that it might be hard for whatever reason, but if it's just because of your ability or lack of ability to be disciplined to do it on Thursday, at least by Friday, because then I don't have to worry about it when I'm working on Saturday or on Sunday when I'm trying to, watch the church services, get involved in Sunday school lesson and that type of thing. It would be a big help for me. Okay. Other than that, I don't think anybody here has the difficulty. I think all of you remember to put your names on things generally. That's 5th grade that I have a problem with it more than anything. And don't forget your Forbidden Gates books, if you're done with them, to return them in your envelope next time if you haven't already. That's it. So, all right. I'll
Bye.
see you guys on Wednesday then.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.